however woke we are, however feminist we are, I think we've not quite grasped um, we've not quite grasped how deep our conditioning is.
Absolutely.
Therefore, how deep that patriarchal mindset is embedded in us.
Hi everyone, my name is Ambika Mattu and I am the editor of Femina. I'm personally very excited to have this conversation today on what would otherwise be just another Mumbai monsoon evening. That's because of who is on the other side of this chat. One of the finest talents in the film industry. And today we're talking about her latest role in the film Sherni, releasing on Amazon Prime Video. Who else but the fiercely lovely Vidya Balan. Hi Vidya.
Hi Ambika, and thank you for that lovely introduction.
Well, given the circumstances of the last year and a half, I think it's absolutely necessary to start with, how are you?
I'm well, thank you. Actually, grateful for everything, for the fact that all those who matter to me are safe and healthy, and I think that's the most precious thing today one has come to realize.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, considering your incredible slate of films, for everyone who is watching, can you give us a little context into your latest, Sherni, and your role in it?
I find it a cliche to say it's a very different kind of film, but it truly is, because how many films have we had that's set in the jungle? And then I'm playing a forest officer, Vidya Vincent, who is strong but not obviously so. She's someone who's very withdrawn and quiet and reserved, but is very strong-willed and has got a steely resolve and believes in doing the right thing the right way. So both the character and the setting, the world of the film, are very different from what I've done so far. And giving it, it's not even a surprise when it's Amit Masurkar who's at the helm of affairs, because he's got a very unusual take on things.
There's so many different layers that one can see even in the trailer itself. The first obviously being morphing into Vidya Vincent, like you said, who is a forest official who has her work clearly cut out for her. And there's also these various subcurrents with metaphors of struggle and survival, which echo in your storyline as well as of the Tigresses. How do you find your feet in a role like this?
I think we've all faced the brunt of patriarchy forever.
Yeah.
And unknowingly, subconsciously, if not consciously, I think we're also perpetuating it. A lot of times, however woke we are, however feminist we are, I think we've not quite grasped we've not quite grasped how deep our conditioning is.
Absolutely.
Therefore, how deep that patriarchal mindset is embedded in us. So I think it was very relatable. What I found interesting was that Vidya Vincent, like I said, is not obviously strong because she just seems so reserved, and it's almost like she's walled herself in. So it's very difficult to really. She's not very reactive, and today we associate strong with being reactive.
Absolutely.
So yeah, but what was interesting for me was that despite that, she stands up for what she believes in when she's called upon to take action. She has a courage of conviction. She is fearless in that sense. And therefore, I think this also, for me, changed how I see fearlessness in someone.
I can imagine.
Or who I see as fearless. Yeah.
So, when you have that understanding, as you do, steeped in a role that you're playing, how does that affect your psyche or your process?
It does affect one's thinking because, even when you and I are having this conversation, things that we say to each other leave an impact.
Absolutely.
Right? So when you're playing a role for 1.5, 2 months, it's like living another person's life, getting into their mind, and therefore it definitely impacts you. And then, which is why I said, maybe I now feel like maybe I was a bit myopic, or maybe it's just about maturity. Now my definitions of strength, fearlessness, femininity, all of that has expanded through this film.
Okay. Having said that, though, in a film like this, it's also hard not to see the direct parallels of our relationships with nature and with animals. Must have been hard not to have been affected by that in the story as well.
No, I have to admit that, I'm not really, I'm one of those who's had a slightly indifferent relationship with the animal world. Of course, one has been in jungle safaris, but that was the extent of my interaction with that world, with the wild. And while I love trees and I love nature, there was I don't think I thought about it beyond that. I love green patches, I love greenery everywhere, but I'm not someone who is wired to think about environment as a whole, as how our actions are impacting the environment. As a matter of fact, I have to admit, and I'm not absolutely proud to be saying that when people spoke about the environment, about the ozone layer depleting, about various other things, about the need for greenhouses, and I would be like, I didn't quite get this.
It's a lot.
Because, I'm surrounded by a lot of people who are very passionate about this, so I didn't quite get it. But now I realize that it's not an issue an issue that's impacting our lives directly, and that's because we are impacting it directly. We are impacting the environment directly, so we have to take the onus. We have to take responsibility, and it doesn't require, doesn't require you to do big things. It just requires you to be mindful.
Absolutely, and no matter where you're living, including a city.
Yeah, exactly. And you don't have to really be an activist or, like I said, an environmentalist or, be part of movements or anything, but in your own small way, you have the capacity to effect change. And I think that's the other thing that's happened. I think my relationship, there is now a relationship with the wild.
Which I think will hold you in good stead for the rest of your life. I kind of I want to bring back a bit of the conversation we had a little earlier about the lady officer, because that just really got my goat when I was watching it, because that hit really hard.
Tell me about it.
So, given that it's so telling of the larger patriarchal setup that all of us kind of are a part of. What were the specific or non-specific ways that you connected the circumstances that you found yourself in on celluloid with your real life?
Yeah, I think, how often have we been talked down to in the guise of being protected, in the guise of being sheltered. It's not always the outside world, sometimes it's your own people, and not because they're mean or they're bad. They don't know any better. Men have been brought up to believe that they need to be in charge, that they need to be the saviors. They need to save us.
They need to also define our worlds for us. A lot of the explanations come in all the time.
Because they think we're incapable of it. And we believed it all these for centuries. It's only slowly over the past, I think, maybe a couple of centuries that anyone began
the conversation.
This,
that the conversation even started.
Yeah, right? Exactly. So, it's still being passed down, and I'm saying we are as much victims as we are perpetrators of patriarchy.
Vidya, this sounds like a truly remarkable film. I genuinely can't wait to watch it. And I also have to ask, though, with the sheer range that you've essayed through your career so far, What do you now consider a meaty role? And how has that definition changed over the years?
I think it's constantly evolving. For example, 2 years ago, if Amit had, not 2 years ago, maybe 3 years ago, Amit had offered me Sherni, I don't know whether I would have done it.
Really?
Yeah, because it's not a very conventionally heroic role. I think I enjoyed doing that for a long, long time. And not that I still enjoy doing it, but I could see the heroism in even the small steps that Vidya Vincent takes. I think because each of us wants to be a hero, right?
Yeah.
And in that sense, I think I wouldn't have been able to see it 3 years ago. But something changed. I think obviously it's as you grow, you learn, you evolve, so I think I realized that it's the same thing that we were talking about, right? The definition of what is heroic and what is not has also expanded for me, which is why I could do this film.
Something like
I think there's not any one kind of role or film that I'm looking to do. But yes, I'm willing to explore my dark side now, which I haven't done on screen ever before.
It's going to be very, very interesting to see.
Yeah, I'd love to, I've been saying this, I said it in another interview yesterday, I think, that I'd love to play a serial killer, because I watch a lot of these shows and I think there is something, I realize that they're also human beings. They didn't set out to be serial killers.
I'm very curious to know, who are the Shernis in your life?
Oh my God. My mother, undoubtedly, because she's a homemaker, but she's always stood her ground and given both my sister Priya and me the courage to do the same. And to chase our dreams and to never give up. And my sister, who's always been my hero actually, Priya, because she's just, that line suits her the most, I think. Jungle kitna bhi ghana kyun na ho, sherni apna rasta dhoond hi leti hai. That was probably written for a woman like her. My niece, who is the littlest sherni that I know today, but my God, I think every woman is a sherni, Ambika. Because we're all doing that, right? Jungle kitna bhi ghana kyun na ho, hum sab apna rasta dhoond hi leti hai. We're all doing that. Whether it's on a political stage, world stage, whether it's in your household, whether it's as the editor of a magazine, as an actor, as a teacher somewhere, as a musician somewhere else. I think we're all doing that. We're navigating.
I agree 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's why that line in particular hits so hard as well. You automatically start even thinking about who. My list is exactly the same as yours, my mother and my sister. You have such clarity of thought and decision making. It feels like such a strong element of your personality. So I'm curious about this as well, and this is my last question to you. Has there ever been a piece of advice that was given to you during your life that you are now very, very happy that you did not listen to?
Oh, wow. I think, various things that people have told me basically added up to the fact that I needed to be who the world expected me to be. And for a while, I tried to follow that. I thought that I would be acceptable, I would be lovable if I did that. Only to realize that, you can never make everyone happy. The only person's happiness that you can guarantee is your own. Therefore, the only person's approval that must matter to you is your own.
Very, very strong words. I'm so glad that you didn't listen to that. I think you're an extraordinary actor. I'm so happy to have spoken to you, and I wish you so much success with this film. I can't wait to watch it. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much. Lovely talking to you.
Lovely talking to you too. Bye.